Hello everyone and welcome to Actify's webinar presentation. My name is Scott Miller and we're joined today by Mark Anderson, who will be providing a product demonstration shortly. If you have any questions during this webinar, please send them through on the chat board and we will try to answer your questions after our product demonstration. During this webinar, we'll discuss how businesses can achieve new competitive advantages through digital transformation. We will demonstrate how our technology can support an enterprise data management strategy and enable your employees to share information and effectively collaborate on projects with other team members regardless of geographical location. Because companies who share information and collaborate benefit from faster access to insight, resulting in a faster time to market. We've all heard the term competitive advantage, which basically means having a favorable or superior position. But how does a business achieve a competitive advantage? Well, in 1985, a Harvard Business School professor named Michael Porter wrote a book called Competitive Advantage. And that book is now the definitive business school textbook on this very topic. Michael Porter, who is considered the guru of competitive advantage, outlined three primary ways that a company can achieve a sustainable advantage, and they are cost leadership, differentiation, and focus. So cost leadership means that you provide good value at a lower price, and companies can achieve cost leadership by continuously improving operational efficiencies. Now, differentiation means that you deliver value in a certain area better than anyone else, and a company can achieve differentiation by providing a unique or high-quality product offering. Another method to achieve differentiation is to be first to market or to be delivering solutions the fastest. Companies typically achieve differentiation with innovation and through superior product quality. But to deliver a superior product quality, this means that you must be achieving operational efficiency to reduce errors and achieve that level of quality. And focus. This means that you understand your target market better than anyone else does. The key to focusing is to target a specific market or a niche that other companies aren't effectively servicing. The target audience are usually willing to pay more for a service if it's coming from an expert or market leader. But there is an underlying theme to achieving competitive advantage. That theme is operational efficiency. Just because a company is the market leader now does not mean it will be forever. A company, to maintain competitive advantage, must sustain through continual improvements and striving for ever greater levels of operational efficiency. Now, businesses are continually transforming from one state to the next, transforming their business to cultivate a competitive advantage. Now, leading businesses use a combination of technology deployments and business innovation combined with an active company culture that embraces change, along with the ability to identify new opportunities and improvements. Today, companies are investing into technology and software to drive productivity improvements and to achieve greater levels of operational efficiency. At the end of the day, we are all trying to satisfy our customers' needs and to attain a greater market share or to grow within our respective marketplace. But what matters most to our customers? Well, speed and time to market, costs, product quality, and customer service or customer experience. Each of these value propositions can be achieved through business operational efficiencies. There are many challenges that face a manufacturing company, and that's regardless of size. One of those challenges is enabling and empowering employees to work together in a productive manner and to enable employees to securely share information and collaborate on projects with other team members that might be dispersed across geography. So I want to talk briefly about collaboration in the workplace and how to develop that. So most importantly is to recognize that collaboration is not new, but perhaps we've just not realized how important collaboration has become, because obviously we've been working together. We've had common goals, common objectives, and we've been passing information because we've always done that. But I think what we realize today is that collaboration has become more important. As we communicate and collaborate in a large variety of ways, we also collaborate across a large variety of different systems and applications. So the focus, I think, is about the technology platforms that enables communication and collaboration, because clearly things have changed a lot over the years. There has been this digital transformation and things have progressed, and thanks to technology advances, we are in a very different place now. Today, you only have to look down to your smartphone to realize how companies are exploiting the transformation of digital, mobile, cloud, and big data, and they're disrupting traditional industries in ways that we would think were unthinkable even a few years ago. And this is where many traditional companies are getting caught out and they're being left behind. Because if we think about how we generally communicate and collaborate in our daily lives and on a day-to-day basis, we have the internet, we have social media, we have our iPhones, and this has really changed the game for us. As an individual, we expect to get immediate access to information using these tools. But today in our workplace, we also expect the same. We expect to search and find information we need, and we expect to find that information immediately. However, within our companies, we have legacy systems, disparate files and information, which makes visibility and access to data extremely challenging. So collaboration, therefore, is a bit more difficult in the workplace as a result of this. So what we want to share with you today is our Actify Centro solution that looks to complement your existing tools and business systems and that you have in place today, but we want to enable better collaboration within your organization. At Actify, we identify that communication and collaboration with your stakeholders across the enterprise is a key enabler to achieving higher levels of operational efficiency, because there are many job functions around the enterprise that would require information that comes from engineering documents and CAD files in order to support their work. However, CAD files and design data, that's typically exclusive or siloed within the engineering department, meaning that the rest of the organization must go without access to data, or they disrupt the engineering team to gain access to information. As a result, engineers spend valuable time administering information to the wider enterprise. Companies try to administer CAD and product information via emails and spreadsheets, and we see this and it's very common. But these are static tools, and the data becomes outdated as soon as it is saved, which can result in uncoordinated decisions and ultimately costly errors down the line. With Actify Centro, we seek to unite business systems and provide visibility and access to information across the enterprise. By gaining valuable insight to issues earlier in the design cycle, we can eliminate waste, we can improve product quality, and we can get to market earlier. We're ultimately achieving new levels of operational efficiency and attaining a competitive advantage. To clearly illustrate the challenge that Actify solves, I like to use this iceberg illustration that simply shows the volume of data that you have inside your organization and the limited visibility that you have of that data. The tip of the iceberg lists the ways that most companies gain access and extract information from their enterprise, such as through management meetings or manual data collection and reporting. But with Actify Centro, we fill that large open management gap that's mostly untouched due to the cost, complexity, and low user adoption of alternative technology solutions. And by deploying Actify Centro, you will be implementing controls and tools to effectively respond to opportunities and insights identified through a connected manufacturing infrastructure. Centro provides greater enterprise visibility and access to previously disparate and siloed data. Manufacturing companies are using Centro to enable valuable data to flow across the product lifecycle. And by analyzing this data, they can optimize operations. For example, you could predict the flow of materials and optimize supply-demand issues, or you can reduce operational costs through data mining and insights into your project development and performance in order to increase efficiencies. To be competitive in the new digital economy, companies need to leverage data from multiple sources and have an enterprise data managed strategy that can enable them to respond to issues or opportunities in real time and to recognize that digital technology is an enabler. So at this stage, I'd like to hand over to Mark Anderson, who will be giving you a demonstration of our Centro solution.
Thank you, Scott. Good morning, everyone. So to begin with my demonstration, we'll be first looking at the one-pager, otherwise known as the job sheet. And essentially, this was originally designed for an individual customer, but we found that the need there was a general need out there to replace Excel sheets, this reliance on Excel spreadsheets, and instead have this information retained in a database. And channeling all this different source of information into this one database, and keeping all that synchronized, essentially a single version of the truth. So some of this information here could be coming from an ERP or Plex system. And I'm just going to talk about what we're seeing here on the page. So we can see the customer, the division, and the various managers responsible for this project. So I've associated a job sheet with a CAD product, which is in the Centro catalog inside the database. So when you create the job sheet, it doesn't have to be associated yet with any components. And with the job sheet, you can have a deep understanding of the scheduling, so the prototype and the production phases that the project is going through at the moment. So the targets and the actual dates, and this can be interpreted quickly through various warnings and dashboards that we have in the job sheet. And in general, where we have our we refer to this as kind of like our insight product. So it's not specific to be in a certain way. So something like a job sheet can be customized. So basically what I'm trying to say is that we can build custom dashboards to meet your needs, depending on how you want the data to be stored or conveyed. And so yeah, so all the financial or ship to information, all that information that could be in an ERP Plex system, that can be pulled down into the job sheet, into the Centro database. And so from this interface, we can either jump straight to the Spinfire web view. So this is kind of like a what we're seeing now, but obviously if we go to the actual Spinfire web, we can use more tools there to do some high-level measurements. But what I'm going to do now is just go to the catalog part view page. So the part view page, this is a part that could have more than just CAD models. It could be any type of file. So it could be PDFs, you can see here, or it could be Office documents. And these can be categorized in the part view. So it's all sort of, it's more visually more divided, so it's easier to interpret what you have here in your projects. And of course we have the filter along the top here, so I can narrow down my search, because over time a project like this could get very, very long. So there's a lot of ways of categorizing and filtering that information in Centro and indeed in all of our products. So we try not to make our products too rigid. We want to not be too limited to CAD models, and to be able to speed up any project cycle times and marketing deadlines, etc. So just to talk further about what we're seeing on the screen here, you'll notice that I have a location here of Edinburgh. So with the way that Centro could be deployed, is it could be in more than one location in your business. So of course I could have Centro installed in Edinburgh, London, somewhere in a US office, and all these can be pointed to one database. And all those users that have the appropriate permissions in the projects and the files would be able to see each other's projects, or not be able to see them, depending on the way you want to set your Centro up. So you can download the files from different locations, and those files are wherever they come from to get into Centro, they are kept stored in that location. So the files that came from Edinburgh are located in Edinburgh. So if I was in the US and I want to download the files, I am downloading it from the Edinburgh location. And if there's some work I need to do on the files, we have all this various functionality for checking in and checking out the files. I'll be going into that a little bit more shortly, but first I'll just jump into the Spinfire web and just explain what we have here, what you can see. So actually, excuse me, if I just jump back just to quickly explain this. We have this tab here for this combustion unit project, these data docs, and this is information that has come from a CSV file, and I use my pipeline manager to extract that information from the CSV and put it into the Centro database, and that can be associated with all the relevant parts in a project. So if I go into all my various components, I can see the various costs and times appropriate to the individual parts. So if we go back to the Spinfire web now, again I can see some of that. I can see that information in my filters here, and so I can filter the cost and time. I can even filter the job sheet, what I just showed you at the beginning. Maybe even information about the Act3D version of the file. So here you go. So we have the cost, we have the time, we've got the link to the job sheet. So if I was to copy that and paste it into my browser, I would be able to reach that part in my browser. And of course, if I filter to the other various CAD formats that I did with my pipeline manager, I can download it while in this interface. And any user views that are in the original native CAD file, we can use those in Spinfire web. So imagine I was looking at a file that had a lot of PMI information, and I enable that to be shown in my assembly tree. Then I go to my view, and I can look at that PMI information in the original user views that came with the file before it was converted to a Spinfire file. And the same is with Spinfire Ultimate as well. So I could check this file out and say, yes, I want to download it. And I can look at my Act3D file, and these are user views that I did earlier on. And you can see here, I can do all the measurements, the analysis tools. This is the exploded view we're looking at here. So, and I can download this from the Centro database, make any leave any feedbacks or markups, anything that needs to be done on this file for the project. And when I'm happy with that, I save it and I check it back into Centro. And when I check it back in, I can leave some tags. I can make comments. I can make the tags and the comments be mandatory. So there's a very clear audit history of that file, of what changes it's gone through. So this ensures the appropriate collaboration is going on, that the correct information is being conveyed by the from user to user as files and CAD files or any other file goes in and out of Centro. That could even be, so I can do that as well with my Office document. So I've got an Excel sheet earlier that I did earlier on. So using the latest release of Spinfire, I can export the workspace image, the CAD model, sorry, into my a live, I should say a live CAD model. I've inserted it into my Excel, but that could also be a PowerPoint or Word. But I've also exported the parts list, and I could have exported the surface and volume calculations, exported any images, specific images I want. So if I just to quickly show you, I've just double-clicked on this what was originally an image, but it's now opening that file in Spinfire Ultimate in my Office document. So I had this in my Centro, I downloaded it, essentially I've got a full version of Spinfire Ultimate in front of me now. And just as you saw me earlier on looking at the user views in my Spinfire Ultimate, I could create some new user views and save those, save the document, and check that file back into Centro for someone to look at or for future reference. And it's not just one CAD model. I could have various CAD models in this Excel or the other Office documents. So all this is about quick insight, competitive advantage, speed of development with your projects, and eliminating the errors or duplicates in your project. So if I go to my gaskets, I can see here I've got some duplicates of the file. They have different file names, but Centro recognizes that they're basically identical in terms of all their metadata. They're exactly the same except the names. But this happens in the real world. So our software can tell you if there's duplicates, and obviously saving time. Time is money, so it saves you money, of course. So we specialize in problem solving, and we're always open to your feedback, enhancements that you're suggesting, and customized dashboards. We're always happy to work with you to do that. And if I believe the one last thing I'm going to be covering today is the BOM manager, the bills of materials. So this is again just comparing information that I have. So let's do the combustion unit again. So this is an existing catalog part in my Centro database, and then I'm going to compare it to a CAD model outside of Centro. I'm basically uploading it to make a comparison with what I have in the database, and I'm going to compare their assembly trees. And there you have it. And already we can see some very obvious difference here. We can see here that this screw socket here, these numbers represent the quantity of the item. So we've got 12 on this assembly tree and only 1 on this one. Or further down, we've got some main linkages missing here on this assembly tree, and even further down here. And we've got these additions here that don't match what's on the other tree. So that's why they've got this purple icons here, just to illustrate that it couldn't match up with this assembly tree. So that gives the users or the managers a quick idea of any discrepancies. And this can be, and the same thing can be done with our search functionality in Centro. So so we have the 3D search that you saw a glimpse of earlier with the gaskets. Again, I can do a similar search or I can do duplicates. So this is really good FYI information. So now I have an idea of how many similar catalog parts I have in my Centro here. Even though they're all slightly different, shapes and everything, names. So that's very nice information just to know what is similar to a part that I have in my Centro, or even outside my Centro. You can do a 3D search of files not in Centro. And as you saw earlier, so this is the duplicates of that gasket 001. And if we come further down, we have so these are saved searches I did earlier on. So if I just very quickly show you what kind of options we have here. Again, this is all about, this is essentially the search capability is the only limitation that I can find is your imagination, really. So the advanced search that you save and can be shared with other users, by the way, it can be for the catalog part, the Datadog tables I showed you earlier, specific resource files, so Office documents or any other documents or files, I should say, CAD attributes, and the physical meta properties. And that can be, as I mentioned, shared with specific roles in your Centro or specific users. And that could be down to specific projects between a specific time, date and time. So that's what I created earlier on here. So I've done I did a volumes that less than 500. I did a search for cost and time data docs in my Centro. So all these catalog parts have those cost and time data docs that you saw earlier in my combustion unit. And I could do a search for any catalog parts that have a PDF document. So it really is just down to kind of your imagination, really, just how useful this is, how much you can do with it. And of course you can do a quick search. You don't have to do an advanced search. You just want to find something. So you have an idea of the name. I type in saw. It returns anything with the name saw. Or I could be anywhere else in the product and I do type in saw. It takes me to a search page. So the functionality is everywhere in our job sheet, in our Centro, in Spinfire. We can filter information. We can enable collaboration, improve operational efficiency, and really help with problem solving. So with that, I believe I have covered everything I was going to cover today.
Thanks, Mark. So just to summarize what Mark has shared with you and just to cover some additional topics is that Centro is an information platform. So it complements existing business systems and it's designed to support the entire value chain and using technology to close the gap between your suppliers and your customers to improve communication, collaboration, and drastically just simplify your daily business activities. So as I mentioned earlier, to be competitive, companies need to be leveraging data that comes from multiple sources. And what Mark shared with you is we had the job sheet, which actually is just an interface where we have mashed data together, specifically satisfying a customer requirement to view data. But again, we have the capabilities to deliver a custom dashboard to satisfy your requirements. So if you'd like to learn more and discover how Actify Central can solve your business challenges, please get in touch. And you can do this by getting in touch with your regional account manager or by filling out one of the forms on our website. We would be more than happy to create a custom demo specific to your business case. And I would like to thank everyone for attending today's call. You should all receive a follow-up email with a link to this recording, and if you'd like to stay up to date with Actify's next webinar, then please check out our website at actify.com/events. If you have a topic that you would like to learn more about, then please email me your suggestions to marketing@actify.com. We want to make these webinars as valuable and informative as possible to benefit you. So I welcome your feedback and suggestions for future topics. And at the end of this webinar, there will be a quick survey with 3 questions, and I would appreciate if you could take a moment to fill this out. Thanks again, everyone, for your time, and from all of us at the Actify team, I hope you have a great day and enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you.